What's that, a game all about me, Ebenezer Scrooge? Bah, humbug. Hello, it's SuperDan here with another video review, or should I say preview, because today I'm looking at something which hasn't yet been released. I'm talking about Scrooge the Board Game, which launches on Kickstarter in September. The developers have very kindly sent me a prototype to look at, so big thank you. In fact, I'd like to thank you through the medium of musical theatre. Thank you very much, thank you very much, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. That was Thank You Very Much from Scrooge the Musical. I'm a big fan of Scrooge. I've seen it on stage in the West End. Obviously I've read A Christmas Carol. I think I've seen every film adaptation. I've even been to a scare attraction called Ebenezer's Haunted Tower, where you come face to face with the three ghosts from the classic story. Imagine meeting the ghost of Christmas Future in person. It was pretty spooky. But imagine my delight when I heard they were making a game based on that dastardly old miser himself, Ebenezer Scrooge. So, without further ado, let's have a look at what's in the box. Now, the eagle-eyed of you will notice I've removed my jacket. That's because it's summer and it's quite warm here in the studio. But you know what? It doesn't feel strange talking about a Christmas Carol-inspired game in August. Yes, it's festive, but it's not as Christmassy as something like Holiday Scrabble or Christmas Monopoly, both of which we've got too. They're great games, but we only play them at Christmas. I think Scrooge the Board Game is a game for life though, not just for Christmas. I think you can play it all year round and it won't feel weird. I'm going to show you the board game, the game board of the board game. Yeah, bit of a tongue twister. I'll show you it now. Bear in mind this is a prototype. It was sent to me rolled up in a tube. When you get the game in the future, it will be a thick, heavy-duty board. But let's have a look, and it'll give you a sense of what it looks like. There we go. Now, the first thing that struck me is how beautiful the artwork is. It really pops, and it helps transport you into that Dickensian world. It's clear that a lot of care and detail has gone into every aspect of the design of this game. Not just the board itself, but the characters look fantastic. In fact, let's have a look at the characters that you get to play as. You get a great choice of characters to play as. For example, Fagin, who you'll note is not from A Christmas Carol. You get Oliver Twist, the Artful Dodger, Mr. Micawber, Mr. Pickwick, and Belle. So there's a great selection of Dickensian characters, so you can choose your favourite one to play as throughout the game. Money, 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 it's so funny. You get a massive wodge of cash in this game. Look at all that colourful moolah, green stuff, although it's also purple and pink and red and black. You get all this money in blue. Yes, money is a key theme throughout the game. Obviously Scrooge himself was obsessed with money, and that's how he got his miserly nature, until the end of the story when he turns good. Spoiler alert, sorry if you haven't read it. Who hasn't read A Christmas Carol? Well, this is the cash. You will be making and losing cash throughout the game. There are no houses, no hotels to buy. It's not like Monopoly. But if you lose all your money, you're out the game, so you might be forced to backtrack. At the start of each turn, you can decide whether to go forward or back. There are 2 dice to roll. One of the dice is negative. Well, I mean, I don't mean it's got a low outlook on life. I mean it has some negative numbers on it. And the other one is purely positive numbers. So you can choose whether to roll 1 dice or 2, and whether to go forward or back, announcing your intentions at the start of each turn. So you've got the cash, you've got the dice, you've got your counter. Let's have a look at all of the cards you get in the game. Now you may have noticed I'm wearing a hat that says Bar Humbug, but I hopefully aren't what you would call a Scrooge. I absolutely love Christmas and all things festive. To me, it's a time for having festive fun with family and friends, and playing lots of games, including this one. So let's have a look at the cards that come with Scrooge the Board Game. Firstly, we have got Scrooge's Money Box. As the name suggests, these cards are all about making or losing money. For example, this one is lose 100, lose 50, win 25, and so on. But what's interesting is on the back of these cards, you've got some original artwork there from Charles Dickens' novels. That's Marley's Ghost from A Christmas Carol. There's also Old Curiosity Shop, David Copperfield, Oliver Twist. It was fascinating to see this original artwork as we played through the game. So that's Scrooge's Money Box. Then you've got your ghost cards. Woo, look at those. These you can have up to 5 in your hand at any time. You collect them as you go around the board, and they do different things. These are great to save and use tactically for the opportune moment. For example, this one is add 2 to any dice. This one is return all your ghost cards. This one is double the value of any money box card you pick up. You'd be quids in with that one. Yes, especially if it's 250 gold, 500 instantly. So, good one to keep. These are great for playing tactically and holding on to. Next, we've got nightmare cards. You get a stack of these as well. These are also good for making extra money. You can sell these. This one's 100 gold, 50, 150, 250, and they all have this great image of Ebenezer Scrooge in bed there, no doubt about to be visited by one of the 3 ghosts. Nightmare cards. Oh, and you need to make sure you don't have any of these left at the end of the game, otherwise you can't finish. You can't end the game. Speaking of ending the game, right near the end there's something called Scrooge's Moment of Truth, and that's where these come in, heroes and villains cards. On the back there we've got a hero, there's Bob Cratchit, minus 50 gold. We've got Scrooged, plus 50. There's all sorts, there's just Tiny Tim there, minus 100. These cards could completely change the outcome of the game at the end. You might think you're so close to winning, but the assortment of heroes and villains could really, as I say, change things. So, something else which just mixes up the gameplay. Finally, Scrooge's Bag of Tricks. These are a bit like chance cards, a bit like in Monopoly. For example, this one is move straight to debtor's prison and pay 250 gold. It's like the go straight to jail card. There's, let's see, go back to streets, give Scrooge's bank all your 100 gold notes, return 1 nightmare card, and so on. So these are essentially like chance cards, but with a Dickensian twist. So that's all the cards. You've got Scrooge's Money Box, Nightmares, Ghosts, Heroes and Villains, and Scrooge's Bag of Tricks. Lots of different cards, but don't feel overwhelmed when you start playing. It becomes really obvious which card you need and when. And now my final thoughts on Scrooge the Board Game. I've been following this on Facebook for quite some time. I was very keen to see how it would develop from the early stages right to this almost final prototype. And let me say, the team have done a fantastic job. I read that over 20,000 hours of development has gone into this, and that really shows. The attention to detail is incredible, the game plays fantastically. And what's been refreshing is the developers have asked for fan feedback along the way. There's been suggestions, ideas, discussions, all from the fans, from the gamers, that have helped tweak and refine the gameplay to make the game what it is today. As I say, I think you're going to have lots and lots of fun with this. Sometimes it feels inspired by other classic games like Monopoly, for example. There's essentially chance cards, there's a lot of cash, there's a bank, you can go to debtor's prison. Sometimes it feels a bit like Snakes and Ladders. You're moving along a board, sometimes you land on a Scrooge U space. Get it? Scrooge U, good wordplay. And that takes you back in the opposite direction. But overall, it feels like a unique gaming experience that I think you're really going to enjoy, whether you love Christmas or whether you're a bit of a Scrooge yourself. I look forward to playing this nearer Christmas, maybe with a little nightcap. Nightcap, see? Yeah. Let's have a look at my final verdict. Well, it's verdict time, folks. Is the game a turkey or is it a Christmas cracker? Well, we've played through the game twice. It's only a prototype, but I've been following the development on Facebook since the early days, and I have to say, for me, it's an absolute cracker. It has explosive gameplay, it's colourful, full of surprises, and guaranteed to get your Christmas off with a bang. So, I really recommend keeping an eye on Scrooge the Board Game. Remember, you can fund them on Kickstarter, which launches in September. You can pledge some money to guarantee your copy of the game, and to give the game a ghost of a chance. See what I did there? That's the spirit. Oh, and another one. Yes. Well, I've been SuperDan. Enjoy the game if you get it. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Happy August, Merry Christmas, SuperDan, away!